Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Damien, and in this channel we do contemporary, modern, and sometimes spooky art. So thank you for joining me. In this occasion, I'm bringing you something very casual. I went to a couple of thrift stores and I found these really cool pieces that I want to transform into something new, something fresh. For the first project, it's quite obvious what I'm gonna be doing with it. I just really didn't know how until I went to some other stores and I found the materials I needed. And for my second project, I'm actually getting inspired by this artist that I found on Instagram. Her name is Jane Poilegard. I'm hoping I'm saying her last name correctly. I'm not doing something as abstract as hers, but I really like the technique that she uses. I explain all the process and the materials that I use throughout the video. So let's get started with the first one. So for the first project, I have this little piece that I bought a while ago. I think it was $3. It says 6 in there, but I never pay full price. I always try to go on days where it's 50% off or something like that. So that's a great tip. If you want to start buying in thrift stores, they always have sales. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this kind of looks like an eye. And immediately I thought about maybe putting like a round mirror and that could be the rest of the eye. But I wasn't sure about these like 2 spikes on the sides. I also bought this bamboo torch that I'm pretty sure it was for the summer, but it was on the clearance section for $1. I was like, this might help with my little eye project. Also got the mirror for the rest of the eye, the iris. And the first thing I'm gonna do is to cut all these little like strands that was holding up the bamboo. It wasn't really, it was just like a finishing touch, but they cracked really easily. You can tell this thing is old. So I'm gonna clean it up a bit and then we're gonna proceed to the next step. Next, what I'm thinking is maybe I can chop one of these like sticks and just leave the other one, and then I'll cut the other bamboo, like the torch. I can cut little pieces of it and create the rest of the eyelashes. So I'm just gonna get rid of these first and then we'll go to the next step. And I forgot to mention, but I got this little handsaw at Dollar Tree. It was just $1. I didn't know they had this type of stuff at the dollar store, but listen, I mean, I've listened to many serial killers going. We're not gonna go there. But I mean, all I'm saying is that, you know, if you're a serial killer and you just, you know, happen to be on a budget, Dollar Tree is your store, you know? All right, so next I'm gonna be cutting the top of this bamboo torch. We're not gonna be using that part at all. Maybe I can reuse it for some other type of like DIY. Maybe put it on a pot or something. I don't know. But we're not gonna use it now. This one is a little bit harder than the eye piece. Maybe because this bamboo it's a little fresher or something, like more, I don't know, it was more sturdy. And after quite some time I was able to cut it. I'm so sorry. Look, I slipped in there. I promise I was trying to be really careful, but I was getting really tired, as you can see. but nothing bad happened. If you do this at home, be careful. Maybe wear some like heavy duty gloves or something. I don't want you blaming me for going to the hospital on the quarantine. It wasn't the cleanest cut, but it's okay. We're probably gonna sand it afterwards. So now I'm just taking measurements of the little piece that I already cut from the thrift store piece. I'm just gonna eyeball, not really eyeball it, but like measure more or less the same size of it. And I'm trying to draw a line like on a slanted way, because that's how the top and the bottom are. And we're back to cutting. These are the actual pieces I'm gonna be using, so I'm trying to be really careful on how I'm cutting them, because I don't want to be all choppy or anything like that. The whole time I was doing this, I kept thinking, maybe I can go to Home Depot or something and rent like a little cutting machine. I was so tired. Let me tell you, I was dead ass tired. And on my last piece, boom, I cracked one. But I was like, I'm not going to cut another one. So I'm just gonna cut the little piece and glue it together. Now we're doing a little bit of sanding. It didn't really need it as sanding, but I thought, why not? Maybe it'll look cleaner. But I ended up just gluing the nice part to the front and then the ugly part on the back, because nobody needs to be seeing that. The next step is to spray paint everything, and I'm using this Rust-Oleum Coastal Sage spray paint. It's such a really nice color, even though it looks a little light in here. At the end it turned out to be a little darker, which I'm not sure I like, but it's still a very nice color, and it had great coverage. I think I only did 2 coats of this, and it completely transformed this piece. It gave it new life. And I'm doing the same for the eyelashes. I could have done it in some other color, but I decided to go with the same spray paint. Now that we have all the front nice and dry, we're gonna be doing the back. One of my pet peeves is when people don't paint the back of things, you know, like especially like in thrift store items. I know this is gonna be in the back and nobody's gonna see it. Am I retracting myself? Because I just said like nobody needs to be seeing the back or anything. But in finished pieces, like I need to paint the back. Like in case I sell it or something, you know, it needs to be finished. But anyways, I'm finishing it with a matte clear enamel just to protect it. The spray paint was already matte, so I'm doing the same with the enamel. I don't want any shiny pieces to this, just because I want to avoid the plasticky look. I still want it to look organic, so that's why I went for the matte. I could have also done maybe satin or maybe semi-gloss, but I just wanted to keep it matte. That way it looks kind of like that chalk paint. I like that. I like that finish. And now we just glue everything together. First, I'm gonna be doing my eyelashes and then the rest of my eye. And then we're gonna go for a smoky eye look. Oh wait, this is not a makeup tutorial, right? And last but not least, the mirror. I got this mirror at Michael's. It's a 7-inch mirror, and I think it was around $3. Maybe a little cheaper because of my rewards program. I think they have like a discount or something like that. I don't know, I'm new at it, so I'm really not sure how it works. But I'm just gonna put it in the middle, and boom, we have our smoky eye look. And this is the finished product. So that was the first project, something very, very simple, but I've always wanted some type of like mirror or like an artwork in the shape of an eye. I love eyes, as you can see over here. This is just an iris, but I love it. I love the color and everything. It's not the original color that I wanted to use. In the beginning, I wanted to use gold spray paint, but Walmart was out of it. Like they had none, not even like rose gold or anything like that. All right. So as I mentioned in the beginning, for my second project, I'm actually getting inspired by this artist that I found on Instagram. Her name is Jane Puilacourt. I think I'm not saying that last name correctly. And I was reading on her website that she actually took a trip in Mexico back in 1992, and she got inspired by the Mexican crafters and the way they do like pointillist, I think it's called, when they do like a lot of like little droplets. So I thought that was really cool. So I'm doing something similar, but I'm not using acrylic paint. I'm using some other materials. So let's jump into the second project and see how I did it. Live, love, love. That's all we need, right? I mean, that's all we need, but you don't need this type of artwork. It's so basic. It's even a meme now. You don't need this in your wall. It's just a big no-no. But if you're watching this video, you know, you want to do better. You want better decorations in your home. Just kidding. You know, my type of art might not be for everyone. This was actually cute, but we're gonna redo it. So I'm gonna be using this Krylon spray paint that we used on our previous video, this satin white spray paint, and some beads that I found. I think they were for like 4th of July. They were kind of cheap. They were like $3 for all of these. So for my first step, I'm thinking to cover this inner piece, and I'm going to spray paint the exposed part with the stone spray paint. Alrighty, now that it's nice and covered, oh wait, we forgot this little piece, take it off. And now we go outside to a well-ventilated area, and we're gonna be spraying the border of this canvas. I'm gonna be using this stone spray paint, and this had medium coverage on the canvas. I think we had better luck in our previous video where we only needed one coat for that moon globe. If you haven't seen that video, it's gonna be linked right here. But yeah, I had to do at least 3 coats of this stone spray paint on the canvas. As you can see, I was really trying to make it even because it was kind of patchy. But once it was completely done, it had this beautiful stone effect. It was very, very even, and I just really like this spray paint a lot. It took maybe 30 minutes for it to completely get dry, and so now I'm gonna remove the cover and go into our next step. So I'm using just a quick reference of a skull. Yes, we're gonna be doing a skull on this. I know it's not Halloween, but this is just my type of aesthetic. But I mean, by all means, use it for Halloween. You know, it could be a nice decoration for October. But I'm just gonna keep it all year long because that's how we do here in the Angels and Damiens channel. We keep it creepy, but kind of fancy at the same time. For my next step, I'm gonna be using these beads. You can pretty much use any type of beads. I just like these because, well, I saw them at the thrift store and they were probably like half off. So I was like, okay, I'll pay $150 for them. So basically what I'm gonna be doing is to do the outline first, and then on the inside we're gonna pretty much just experiment, see what we can do. It can be either symmetric lines or random dots with the beads, or it can be organic lines, you know, curves here and there. And that's pretty much what I did. I didn't want it to look too like store-bought or anything like that, so I just went for something a little bit more organic, and I did curves and random beads here and there. As you can see, I cut random strips of the beads and I'm gluing them in random places. I'm just adding some beads here and there to make it look like incomplete lines of beads. For the teeth, I ended up doing this back-to-back chain of beads for it to stand out, since we're gonna be having so much going on the inside. This was the only way to make it seem like there were teeth. Otherwise, they were gonna get lost in the sauce. As I said, you can make it as complicated as you want, as simple as you want. You can play with symmetry or make it just very random. I think either way it's gonna look really good. And now that we're outside, I'm covering the border. We already spray painted this. Now it's the turn for the front. So I'm gonna be spraying the entire front, the beads and everything, in just one color. And that's our white spray paint. Oh, by the way, don't mind my cell phone in there. My friend was calling me. Shout out to Majo. Majo, don't be calling me when I'm doing my DIYs, okay? Now we spray paint. So now you can really see what I was going for. It's this really cool kind of like, it looks kind of like pearls on a frame. And it just looks really like minimalist, but also very intricate, and it looks really nice. I really like this type of like aesthetic. Isn't this like oddly satisfying to just like peel this tape off? I did a couple of coats on this white spray paint. I had to go in between all the little like beads and stuff, make sure everything was covered, but I think it turned out really, really good. And this is the final product. Alright, so those are the two projects that I have for you today. I really hope you liked them. The first one, I got lucky that I found something that was already in the shape of an eye. And the second one, I really like the technique that I use. It's a technique that I definitely want to try again, maybe in something bigger, just so you can have more impact. And like I said, you don't really have to do a skull like I did. You can do some other shape or just keep it very abstract, just like the actual artist, Jane. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Give me a like on this video and put your suggestions down in the comments below. Just as a reminder, the Spanish version of this video is gonna be posted on Wednesdays. So if you have friends that speak Spanish, There's gonna be a whole playlist called Videos en Español. Maybe you can share those with them. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Ciao!